Coming up on News Live at 6, how one nearby hotel is lending a hand to some medical students.
Plus, the sun is out, but for how long? I'll have more on the weather right outside your window.
And Governor Hochul announcing a large amount of funding for housing in New York State. We tell you how much Onondaga County is receiving. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome into News Live at 6 on this sunny Tuesday. I'm Ronnie Parrillo.
And I'm Ilana Epstein. Onondaga County is set to receive almost $17 million in funding for housing through the federal low-income housing taxing credit. The money will help construct new housing and preserve existing developments. The funding comes from Governor Kathy Hochul's agenda to address New York's housing crisis.
Thousands and thousands of New Yorkers will have the joy of having their own place, that magical move-in day when everything seems possible.
In total, the state will receive $270 million.
A 12-hour-long manhunt for a man suspected of killing his girlfriend and 11-year-old son is over tonight. Syracuse police say 43-year-old David Huff was arrested this morning after a person saw him walking in the area near the shooting. No officers first responded to the 911 call in the Valley neighborhood of Syracuse last night. They found his 11-year-old son Jeremiah dead on the scene. Jeremiah was a 6th grade student at Gillette Road Middle School. Huff has since been charged with first-degree murder. All right, taking a look outside now, Ilana. It's been a wonderful day today, and Liv Rodriguez, she's outside with more tonight. There she is.
Hey there, Ronnie and Ilana. Now, this might be the first day that I'm actually not envious of you guys in the studio because it is a beautiful Tuesday outside right now. The sun is shining. If you just look behind me right now, people are out in the quad having just the best day. And you know it's a good day in Syracuse when the sun is out and people are out in the quad, because right now we're looking at 59 degrees outside, one of the highest temperatures that we have seen in weeks, and we're looking at a nice 8-mile-per-hour wind, which is making it feel just like a perfect day. It's not too hot, not too cold. We're just really relaxing in this wonderful, wonderful weather, and that's going to stick around for the rest of tonight. We're only going to drop down to about 52 degrees tonight, and the weather's also going to be really clear. It is just the perfect day to go on a walk, check out the beautiful sunset that's going to happen right outside here on the quad. Everybody else seems to be enjoying just this beautiful, wonderful day. The perfect way to get back to school after spring break is enjoying the clear skies and great sun. Again, we're going to have a really nice clear night out tonight, and it's going to lead into some good weather out for the rest of the week. But I'll have more on your 5-day forecast when I'm back in the studio. Ronnie and Ilana, back to you guys.
Olivia, the sun is just hitting your face perfectly. I just need to get out there right after the show.
I just came back from Florida, and I landed, and I got back, and all of a sudden today I'm like, I think I'm still there. I don't think I'm back in central New York, but we are.
And it doesn't have to feel like it. I'm
beautiful
fine that it feels like this, honestly.
Exactly. And if you're driving today, it's a beautiful day to drive. Maybe you got the windows down, you got the Luke Combs blasting on the stereo. I don't blame you. That's what I would have if I weren't here right now.
I think all of these cars that are driving on I-81 right now, that's probably exactly how they're driving. We got Luke Combs and the music and the windows. I mean, a lot of cars actually on the road right now, if we take a look.
Absolutely, Ilana. Yeah, there's I-81 right there, downtown Syracuse. Things moving pretty smoothly at this hour for your evening commute. Most of the meat of the evening commute is over, and then if you take a look outside, Syracuse 690 and 481, everything moving pretty smoothly. The only kind of problem area is that 481 and 81 interchange up in North Syracuse. Crews have been doing some construction as part of the ongoing 81 project, so if you're in that area, the Route 11 exit, take it slow, but enjoy the nice weather while we have it.
Local nursing students have been adapting recently to some new learning environments. Our reporter Vanessa Shimoni has more on how a local college is embracing a not-so-convenient classroom setting.
Imagine taking classes in a hotel every week. That's been the reality of Utica University nursing students recently. After a fire destroyed their former lab building last February, the nursing students have been continuing their studies out of a conference room at the Embassy Suites at Hilton here in Syracuse. Hotel manager Maria Mararki says the accommodations are worth it.
Come in, making some guidelines as to when they need to come in, where they can, congregate. We think it's great. We're out in the community, we're helping the community, and they're, bringing stuff in for us as well. So, it feels good.
Nursing student Morgan Stubley says her and her classmates are making it work, despite the conditions.
Obviously it's not ideal because we don't have as much of our stuff as we did at the old place, but everyone's really adapted really well.
Now, the Hilton Hotel is not the only space in Syracuse offering students rooms. The Sheraton, the Crown Plaza, and the Mayflower hotels have all closed in the past 12 months due to student offerings, leaving Syracuse down 600 hotel rooms. Director of the nursing program, Nicole Mino, says making sure students stay on track was the driving force behind the decision.
We didn't want the ability to delay our students in graduating. A lot of our students stay either local or move back home to where they came from. So I know they're all eager to get into the working world, especially given the nursing shortage that New York State does have.
According to Maruki, the students will continue studying out of Hilton for the next month until exams in order to finish the semester successfully. For Citrus TV News, I'm Vanessa Shimoni.
Vanessa, thanks. Right now, the Office of Renewable Energy is hosting a public hearing for a proposed solar farm in the town of Fenner. That's over in Madison County. The hearing will focus on the plan for the project, which would occupy over 20% of the town's landmass. Now, this is raising concerns for Madison County officials who say they have limited control over that project, but anybody with concerns is encouraged to speak up. You can write your thoughts and submit them to the Office of Renewable Energy by March 28th.
The iconic Syracuse shot clock is moving paws to the other side of the street. The statue currently sits between Walton and Jefferson Street, but the city has announced plans to move it in front of the Museum of Science and Technology. The Syracuse monument was installed back in 2005, commemorating the first use of the shot clock by the Syracuse Nationals. If you want to see the shot clock before it moves, time is running out. Work on the clock's transition is expected to begin next month.
A Syracuse business is being forced to clean up their act. A state Supreme Court judge ordered a 4-phase plan to clear the site of Kamar's restaurant equipment. The court order came after the property owner ignored city suggestions. He only partially handled many code violations that the business had. Mayor Ben Walsh says, quote, "It's a junkyard in the public right of way, and we won't allow it to continue." The owner will appear in court on May 6th. Now, that site is expected to be cleared before then, by April 28th.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is joining forces with other states to push back against robocalls. James defended a Federal Communications Commission rule stopping telemarketers from selling a customer's phone number without consent. She said, quote, "Robocalls are not only annoying, but have also led to serious scams that robbed people of millions of dollars. The FCC's rule would help stop some of these unwanted calls and could protect customers from fraud. 27 other states, along with New York, signed the brief in support of the FCC's rule.
All right, staying on the phone lines now, the Madison County Sheriff's Office is warning residents to be wary of a phone scam going around in that community. The calls claim to be from the Sheriff's Office themselves, saying that the victim has a warrant out for their arrest for missing jury duty. Now, in some cases, that number has even been disguised to look like a legitimate call. Authorities are reminding people to not give any financial information or personal information over the phone if they think they're being scammed.
Coming up, Chief Justice Roberts publicly pushing back against President Trump's calls for a federal judge to be impeached. How did we get here, and what's happening next?
Plus, a surprise Israeli airstrike in Gaza has changed the landscape of that war now. The reason Israel broke the ceasefire and how the world is responding on the other side.
To an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
watching Citrus TV News, live at 6 with Ronnie Parrillo, Ilana Epstein, and Olivia Rodriguez. And now, your campus news leader continues.
Located in the Gulf of America, off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Some breaking news right now. Great breaking news, though. The two NASA astronauts who were stuck on the International Space Station have landed in Florida. Sunita Sonny Williams and Barry Butch Wilmore left the ISS on a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft early this morning, Ilana.
The pair went up in a Boeing Starliner capsule back in June for a week-long trip to the ISS, but they stayed there for 9 months due to the issues on the Starliner.
Now, the Department of Government Efficiency tonight is facing pushback from a federal judge. This evening, U.S. District Judge Theodore Chung says DOJ's shutdown of the U.S. Agency for International Development was likely unconstitutional.
As a result, the judge ordered DOJ to reinstate the payment of all current USAID employees and prohibited any further action related to the agency. More than 4,000 workers were placed on administrative leave following cuts made by DOJ.
To the latest now, a few days ago, President Trump ordered that Venezuelan gang members, alleged gang members, be deported from the United States by invoking an 18th century law.
Now, a federal judge ordered a stoppage to the deportation, but the Trump administration refused to follow his orders. Now, taking us deeper into the situation is Citrus TV's Drew Matiasik.
That's right. Just a few days ago, President Trump ordered the deportation of Venezuelans who the Trump administration alleges are members of the Tren de Aragua gang, a Venezuelan group that has branched out to become a multinational crime organization that has pulled off attacks in countries stretching from Chile to the United States. To do this, President Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act, which was signed into law by President John Adams in 1798, that has only been used 4 times in American history to deport or detain nationals of an enemy nation during times of war or invasion. However, James Boasberg, the Chief Justice of the D.C. District Court, ordered that the flights carrying these gang members be halted, as he believed that the president has no right to invoke this act through presidential proclamation in this scenario. The administration defied these orders, claiming that the plane carrying the gang members was already over international waters when the judge made his ruling.
On 5 illegal aliens, they didn't want to deport them, and we abided by that. By the time the other order came, the plane was already over international waters with a plane full of terrorists and significant public safety threats. And, you know, to turn a plane around over international waters, we're going to refuel over international waters, come back and bring terrorists back to the United States. That's not what this president promised American people.
All of the planes that were subject to the written order, the judge's written order, took off before the order was entered in the courtroom on Saturday.
Now, President Trump took to Truth Social today calling for the impeachment of Judge Boasberg, in which the House GOP immediately took action, with Representative Brandon Gill of Texas announcing that he has already introduced articles of impeachment against the judge. Chief Justice Roberts, in a rare public statement today, rebuked the president's comments, saying, quote, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose." Boasberg is the 5th federal judge so far to face impeachment from Republicans. It is unclear how much support the articles have, but it is still unlikely any measure passes the full House if brought to a vote. Ronnie and Ilana, back to you.
Drew, thanks for your coverage tonight. Russian President Vladimir Putin has rejected a full ceasefire deal with Ukraine after a phone call with President Trump earlier today. Now, the U.S. and Ukraine had agreed to a 30-day ceasefire just weeks ago, but they were waiting on Russia to agree to it. That did not happen. But while the ceasefire won't go into effect, Putin has agreed to Trump's proposal of a, quote, limited ceasefire on energy sources. Now, in that call, neither Putin nor Trump talked about Ukraine ceding any land to Russia.
After the meeting, President Trump posted on Truth Social saying, quote, "We agreed to an immediate ceasefire on all energy and infrastructure with an understanding that we will be working quickly to have a complete ceasefire and ultimately an end to this very horrible war between Russia and Ukraine." Trump also said he will begin talks about another ceasefire in the Middle East this week.
More than 400 people are dead tonight in Gaza, with more injured following a surprise Israeli airstrike. Of those, more than half are women or children. Now, Hamas is also reporting that at least 4 senior officials of that terrorist group were killed in the strike. The attack has effectively ended the ceasefire between the two nations that has been in place since January. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he ordered the strikes because Hamas rejected proposed changes to the ceasefire agreement. The changes required Hamas to release half of its remaining hostages in exchange for an extension. But that proposal did not mention Israel releasing any of their Palestinian prisoners, like the existing agreement said. Now, Netanyahu also saying, quote, "The strike is only the beginning."
Countries around the world have slammed Israel for the attack. Leaders in Egypt and Kuwait saying the attacks are a, quote, gross violation of international law. Germany's foreign minister also chiming in, stating the end of the ceasefire is a, quote, reason for major concern. The White House has stood in support for Israel. The U.S. Deputy Ambassador to the United Nations defended the airstrike, saying Hamas's refusal to negotiate forced the action.
And coming up, I'll have what temperatures you can expect over the rest of the week. Stay with us.
Rolling.
Sound is speeding.
Can you slow that down, please? This is 28.1.
28.1.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. Now, if you guys saw me outside, I was so nice and warm out there. I'm literally wearing my short sleeves, my dresses. It's the first time in weeks I've been able to experience this. But looking across to the rest of this week, this weather is unfortunately not here to stay. Because looking ahead, right now we are looking at 75 degrees tomorrow. It's going to be the high for not only on Wednesday, but the high for the rest of the week. It's going to be super nice. A little bit of clouds in the morning, but it's going to clear up again. The day to go outside, hit the quad, it's going to be amazing. We're going to dip down again for the rest of the week with 63 on Thursday with some expected rain, 44 on Friday. But we are going to dip back into the 50s area on Saturday. So a great day to enjoy the weather, except when we hit those PM showers. So be able to look out for that. And then on Sunday, we hit 39 degrees as our high. So once again, we've got this bipolar Syracuse weather that's really going to mess with what we're going to be expecting for the rest of the week. But not just this week is important. What I remember is last week, because last week was spring break, and me, Ronnie, and Ilana were having a really good time outside. You guys could see we were experiencing lots of different weather. Now, Ronnie was in Florida, mentioning Ilana was in LA, and I was in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So if you see all the amazing places that me, Ronnie, and Ilana were hitting up, we have, what, is that Warner Brothers Studios, Ilana? That looks so cool out there. That's Ronnie and his family out in Florida, and that's me and some of my friends by the Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil. We just had a really good time. So we were experiencing a lot of different weather across the globe at some of the most famous cities in the world. So as you can see, CitrusTV was having a really good week, but we're really glad to be back with you guys. Ronnie and Ilana, what were you guys experiencing?
All right, I think we can take credit for bringing the warm weather back to central New York.
Definitely.
Liv,
that was us. That was
Ilana,
us.
and we did it. Absolutely. Well, you were in California, tech capital.
Yes.
Google is buying cybersecurity firm Wiz for $32 billion. That's a lot of money. It's part of Google's plan to improve cloud security. Now, once the all-cash deal closes, it's cash too. Wow. Wiz will join Google Cloud It's the biggest deal in the company's history.
The goal is to improve security and protect customers from new threats due to the increased use of AI. Organizations of all sizes will be able to use Wiz to protect everything they build and run in the cloud. Google and Wiz expect the deal to close in 2026.
Well, Ilana, speaking of big purchases, purchase your stock in Syracuse men's lacrosse. The Orange are back in action tonight. I'll tell you more about their matchup next on Sports.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
After a spring break of its own, Syracuse men's lacrosse enters the final stretch of the 2025 season. Welcome to sports. I'm Sam Corcoran. Let's take a step back and look where things stand. The Orange sit 10th in the polls with a 5-2 record. A bit of a disappointment to some fans considering SU started second. But behind a major win against Johns Hopkins last Sunday, SU sits in prime position for a postseason push, albeit a gauntlet of a schedule. Now, the gauntlet holds off for a bit tonight. SU hosts Manhattan for the second straight year at 7. And if you're wondering how last year's contest went, utter domination for the Orange with a 16-3 victory that saw Joey Spallina rack up a career-high 10 points. Now, don't count the Jaspers out just yet. Manhattan enters tonight off 2 straight wins, so bringing some momentum to the Dome for tonight's bout. Let's head to the court where the Knicks are finally back in familiar territory. New York had been on the road since March 6th and is in the midst of a stretch with 7 of 8 games outside the Big Apple. Well, last night was the one game back inside the Garden against the Heat. Let's roll the tape and see how it all went down. Early on, the Heat up big, 9-0, dominating the Knicks, and Duncan Robinson in the corner. He's automatic from 3, switches that one to get double digits early for Miami. But the Knicks, they slowly crawl back in this game. Karl Anthony Towns punishes Robinson for what he did earlier, slams it home. Then the Knicks within 1. Karl Anthony Towns, all of those points, 12-0 run for Towns, make that 15 with the Heat check 3. Cat feeling it as the Knicks take the lead early on. Now into the second half, Mikal Bridges gets the pass from Towns. Towns still hot, layup right there. Part of a 10-0 New York run. Then Knicks cruising at this point. Khalil Ware gets the steal, but Josh Hart gets it back. Number 2 for the lob to Robinson. That one's good. And Karl Anthony Towns, you know they have to go back to him to put this game away. The nail in the coffin with the layup. New York takes this one 116-95 over the Heat and secures at the very least one home game for the postseason, whether it be in the playoffs or the play-in tournament. Looking at the Eastern Conference standings, the Knicks' magic number to clinch a playoff spot drops to 4 as they sit pretty comfortable in 3rd place. New York heads back on the road for a 2-game trip starting Wednesday with stops in San Antonio and Charlotte. All right, America, rejoice. The madness is on. On Sunday, the NCAA revealed its field of 68 for this year's men's basketball tournament. No surprise, Syracuse missed out on the big dance, but 8 other teams try to slip their foot through the glass slipper beginning tonight with the first 4. As per tradition, the action tips off in Dayton, Ohio with 16 seeds Alabama State and St. Francis. Then after that, some ACC action. North Carolina battles San Diego State to wrap up day 1. Tomorrow, we'll see a DMV battle between American and Mount St. Mary's. Then Texas and Xavier to close up shop. Now, I love making brackets, you guys, and I felt like it would be fun if we all made some brackets. I got to say, Ilana, you're a ball knower right now. Florida and Auburn, we both had the same thing, with Florida winning the national championship. But Ronnie, I love the Smithfield, Rhode Island hometown pick.
Well, you know I had to.
That the Cinderella story, 15 seed,
yes,
winning all the way, never happened before.
Could happen.
I want my Bulldogs.
Rhode Island in every show. We always have to talk about it.
Absolutely.
There's a challenge we have here at Citrus TV. How many times will Rhode Island be mentioned? But tonight, I think it's worthy. You know, it's a little small town basketball team, but I want my Bulldogs to win.
If they made it this far, I mean,
hey,
you know,
why
I'm
not,
proud
dude? Never say never. Anything can happen in March. That's why they call it March Madness.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, we will be right back with your Wake Up Weather.
Welcome back into your Wake Up Weather. Now, as Cheryl Crow says, it's time to soak up the sun tomorrow because we are looking at a very nice and sunny day. Tomorrow on Wednesday, we're seeing a high of 75 degrees at noon. So remember, that is going to be the highest we're going to see all week. So soak it up all you can because we're going to dip down to 53 degrees and then it's going to get a little bit cloudy and windy at night. So that's something to look out for. Pack a light jacket, but it's going to be a really nice day. You know, something I love even more than warm weather is great music.
I do too. And speaking of the sun, I think everyone's going to be heading to sunny Chicago this summer. Lollapalooza just announced its lineup for this summer's festival. Some of this year's headliners include Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, Tyler the Creator, and Doechii.
All right, I'm going to try and get these all pronounced right. Other performers include T-Pain, that one was easy, Dominic Fike, and Role Model. I did it.
You did it.
The festival will be held at Grant Park in Chicago. It will run from July 31st to August 3rd.
And there's someone else we didn't mention. Luke Combs is also
one
on
of my all-time favorites.
And come
Absolutely.
on, now Ronnie, we all could go. We all have an
I'm
artist.
so excited for that list.
Who's your favorite artist?
People are going to run in there.
Ooh, well, I mean, I'm a little biased because my name practically is Olivia Rodrigo. I've seen her live. I saw Sour Tour. Like, I was there from the beginning.
So we have to go. We have to go. Yes, we're all going. Sam?
Oh, I love it. I'm T-Pain. I put any T-Pain song, I can do it all the time. Sing those songs in the shower, not going to lie.
We'll definitely get
here somewhere now.
Well, even though we're leaving, we'll be back next week. That's Citrus TV News for this Tuesday. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media. I'm Ronnie Parrillo.